Hi everyone, I'm Fuuldrin and welcome back to my channel. I apologize in advance because I don't know exactly how often I can upload new videos. For the moment my schedule is still very chaotic for a lot of different reasons. So sorry about that. I still have a couple of other videos to upload later, some replays that I have already saved. And I will try to upload them, comment them, and make new games that are worth commenting. Anyway, today we are playing with the T-62A, a tier 10 Russian medium tank on Prokhorovka. And this is an excellent map for this tank because there's a lot of space, and it's perfect because one of its advantage is the mobility and top speed. It's very maneuverable, and this map is perfect for this kind of tank. The second asset would be the turret. It's extremely strong. If you only show your turret, your opponents will have a very hard time penetrating your tank. So you need to stay in hold on if you want to take advantage of it. However, on this map with the terrain it's difficult. The reason is the gun have very little depression. I think it's -5 degrees if I remember well. So you will not be able to take advantage of this kind of terrain if you want to stay in a hold down. This is why you have mostly two options with this tank. The first one is to scout only, so you move on the F line and you try to spot as many opponents as possible, and then you will light only the one that can be targeted by your team. And there's one artillery, so it's an interesting option. The other one is to expose yourself from time to time to take some shots. However, you don't have an insane alpha, and since you have very low gun depression, it's also dangerous, so you need to pop out from different locations each time if you want to take some shots. I would definitely recommend the first option if there is no light tank, and also there is not so many medium tanks. So for the beginning I'm trying not to shoot as much as possible, or at least not taking any risk doing so. Here I'm spotted, so instantly I need to move. Whatever option you choose, you need to stay away from the enemy fire, so when you are spotted you need to move back and make sure that only your turret is exposed when people have their gun pointed at you. So you can scout, you can take some shots if it's not risky, but you need to be patient and let the game develop. You can assist your team by preventing the enemy team to get too close from the crest. Here my main goal is to spot people just on the E line, and also if I can take shots at people in F0, it would put a lot of pressure on them, because apparently there's a lot of opponents, so a big part of the fight will happen in this part, in F0, G0. Also my platoon mate is playing the Waffenträger E100 and he's in K8, which is a very good supporting position for tank destroyers that need to stay in the back, because as you may know, this tank has a very weak turret, so as soon as it is spotted it will attract all the enemy fire and die very fast. So he's staying in a safe position, and from mine I can spot him targets and put pressure on the opponents in F0. The only weakness in here is that there's not so many tanks on the left flank, and I need to keep an eye on the minimap because they could easily breach through E1, F1, G1. And if that happens, we would have very little time to answer this threat. And what I'm doing right now is just to make sure that if there are people trying to breach our defenses, they would be spotted in time. However, there's an enemy medium tank on my right, and he is going to be a pain for me. because he is doing basically the same job, spotting for his team. The hardest part, in my opinion, is to give as much information as you can to your team, and in the same time not exposing yourself too much. Here I took one hit from the T-64. It's not a lot of damage, but again, it's useless to expose yourself, and since there is an artillery and I just saw him shooting in my general direction, I believe he was shooting in J1 in this heavy tank. It's not a good idea to stay put. I need to move, so I will alternate positions and trying to make sure that enemies will have a hard time just aiming at me. If you're playing a platoon of medium tanks, you can be more aggressive on the crest, I mean on the EF lines, and you can take some risk to know where are the opponents. This way you would have the crucial information to know where you can yourself invade the enemy territory in the north of the map. For now, since I would not have any support and I have no idea how remaining tanks are, mostly in the top left corner, it would be too dangerous. So I'm just staying in position and trying to put some pressure on the enemy team from here. You might have noticed the excellent accuracy of the gun, however, I'm not so lucky with the RNG and it kind of deviates always on the bottom part of the tank, of the enemy tank, and they are covered by the terrain, so a lot of my shots are just missing. Even if my tank has an excellent rate of fire, I never run out of ammo during a battle. Just because you have enough supply, so you can shoot without counting, just watch from time to time, but I still have 27 shells left. This is not an issue. The issue for now is this heavy tank in J7, which can detect by proximity my teammate, and this is why now he's forcing to move back, and he cannot support anyone on the hill for now. There are not so many tanks left in the battle, a few of them are spotted. There's still the artillery that I believe it's in A5, A6. So now from this point, with the information we have, we can start to take more risks. So now I'm tempted to pick on the isolated heavy tank that is threatening my friend, or I could just rush. I mean, I have plenty of possibilities. Now 3 enemy tanks have been spotted on the left part, so I know that the artillery is quite isolated. Here you see me just shooting at the available targets, but in retrospective I am not sure this was the smartest idea. I know the artillery is vulnerable and it can easily cripple the enemy. Well, actually it's crippling me, and I should have moved at least, and I believe I should have rushed for the artillery. I think I was too happy to have some easy targets, I mean tier 8 from the flank immobile without any cover whatsoever, and I was so tempted to shoot at him that I forgot about the rest of the battle, and this was a major mistake. So I know it's hard sometimes to keep your concentration on all aspects of the game at the same time, but if you make one mistake at high tier, you can pay a very, very high price like I just did. So I've decided to keep shooting at those opponents because they are easy targets. It's a lot of experience, it's a lot of damage for our team. The game is probably won, so at this stage of the game it doesn't matter so much. But honestly, I would lie to you if I told you that I anticipated our heavy tank in B6 taking down the enemy artillery. I completely forgot about the rest of the minimap, and I was just so concentrated on doing some more damage, and this is a mistake. Even at the end of the game there could be a series of bad events that could lead to a defeat, and just rushing for damage is not always the best option. In conclusion, I'd say that even if the last part is more spectacular, there's more action, The first part of this game is more interesting because I played my role of a medium. By first staying alive, it's easy to take a lot of risk and say, hey, I'll make a good action and spot a lot of the enemy team at the beginning, but if you die too early, you will not be able to carry this information throughout the entire game. So staying alive is important, giving some information and putting as much pressure as you can on opponents that are taking too much risks. So that's it for this game. I hope you enjoyed it, and well, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.